Vibe coding, vibe prototyping, vibe designing. It seems like these terms are everywhere. It also seems like everybody is doing it and everybody knows the tools for it already. So in this video, let's talk about this topic and I'll show you demo of two products that you can later go check it out. If you're new to vibe coding in general, then this is for you. Now the term vibe coding can be attributed to a guy called Andre Karpathy. Now he's one of the co-founders of OpenAI and he had mentioned this in a tweet. You essentially surrender to the tool by describing your idea and then the tool takes over from there and comes up with an output. Now speaking of the output itself, sometimes the output can be simply code, sometimes it can be code plus UI, and sometimes it can be simply UI. You don't get to see the code, but you can only see the UI. Now, for example, if you look at developers, they have something called as Windsurf, Cursor, or Claude Code, which is the most recent tool they use. If you look at product managers, product marketers, or even founders, they tend to use more of Vercel's V0, Lovable, Replit, Bolt, these kind of products. Now, the difference between the two is one gives an output in pure code format and the other one gives an output in code plus UI. When you have code plus UI, it becomes very interesting for non-coders, non-programmers. They can easily understand the output without having to look at the code. So what is the use of vibe coding in the first place? Now there are multiple use cases that are getting discovered every single day. And since we have seen the launch of all these new products coming to the market, the use cases are still developing. And that is why you will see different terms forming every single day. Now as a product manager, I use these AI tools for rapid prototyping. Now that is basically entering a prompt and seeing an output which is code plus UI. And I use this prototype to go talk to my stakeholders in order to get some approvals on the design or the functional flows of whatever it is that I'm building. Now you might be a founder trying to explore some new ideas to build. In order to find the viability of this idea, you could simply prompt it, get an output, and go test it with the customers. And so that's an interesting use case as well, where you do quick idea validation. Now depending on the role that you are in right now, how can you use these tools to your advantage? Here's a simple framework that I would use. I try to look for all the touch points that I have in my workflows. What is it that I do on a day-to-day basis where I can inject some of these AI tools and make it better for me? Now, as a product manager, one of the things that I do is whiteboarding. Basically, I convert whatever discussions we have had into a nice flowchart, and from there I go to designer and get the designs out. All these things are done in order to get the approval from the stakeholders and make sure that we have the features ready to be developed. Now, this entire process does take a lot of time, and most of the time is spent in getting the final designs out in order to ship this feature. Now, you might be in a role which is similar to mine, where you have to constantly communicate your ideas and get validations on those ideas. So AI tools are perfect for doing these kind of tasks. Now, having said that, even if you do not have to use AI at your workplace, you can still tinker around with new ideas and use AI tools just for your fun and hobby projects. Now, most of the tools allow you to deploy the app to production. Also, these tools are free to use with certain limits on the number of prompts and messages that you can give them, but most of the time you should be able to get your output with whatever limits they still have. Now, I've been telling all the good things about this vibe coding and using AI tools, but let me also give you some limitations here. Now, first things first, an app is not a business. What do I mean by this? When you say I have built this app in Lovable or Vercel, it does not mean automatically that you have got a business now. What most people don't realize is that building an app is only one part of that particular business. There are multiple facets to a business. You have to take care of operations, you have to take care of marketing, you have to take care of other financial things that come along with the business. You might be surprised the number of people that actually ask these questions on Reddit, which is basically, I have got an app, now what do I do next? The second limitation is basically around scaling and security of the app. Most of the vibe coding tools should be able to do the basic stuff there, but once you start having real users in and once you start scaling the product, you do need an experienced engineer on your team. Now, having said that, these kind of tools are excellent if you're a software engineer. It will just make your work more accelerated. Alright, so let me show you a demo of how I use these AI tools and how to prompt them and how to see the output. Here I am on the website of lovable.dev. On their landing page itself, they have the input box. Now, this is where you will enter your prompt. Now, for the first example, let's take a simple one and build a portfolio website for a fitness trainer. So let's go ahead and tell Lovable, build me a portfolio website for a fitness trainer. Now observe how I have not given a lot more context, and so there is no specific information. So this is an example when you want to try for the first time, is where you don't have to think a lot about this particular prompt. And I'll click on enter. As you can see, the tool has started working. Here you can see that they are spinning up a preview. This is where the prompt appears, build me a portfolio website for a fitness trainer. And they are also showing how Lovable is thinking about this problem. So what is the design vision, features I will implement, and then it's going to create it for me. Now you can also see they have a tab for code. Now this is where you can start seeing the code once it's developed the code here. If you're a developer, this is going to be quite easy to understand, but if you're not, it's fine. You can still wait for the UI to generate. And you can see they've got the output here, and on my right hand side, I'll just close the other tab. This is the landing page for my website. You can see the idea of a fitness trainer is captured well with the image and with the titles that you see here. And then as you scroll down, you can see the information about the fitness coach, and they have basically taken the liberty to add all the information about fitness trainer. So I did not provide all of this information. So on this page, if you see, they have an option to publish. When you click on publish, you get a website. Now, of course, it's not hosted on your domain, which means it will have lovable.app at the very end. But if you have your own website, you could actually get it and sort of host it as well. At the moment, if you want to view your app separately, you can do it. Just open it in the window, and then it looks like just another website, and it's pretty neat, pretty clean. Let's move on to the second demo. And the second demo, I want to do it with Vercel's product called V0. But when I'm trying with V0, I want to go for a more detailed prompt just to give you an example of how it would look like. Now, this is a prompt that I copy pasted from another place, which I had already used before. And here what I'm trying to do is create an order management dashboard for my e-commerce website that sells candles. And I have also listed down all the features that I want. Now, this is the part of context that I was referring to, which was missing in our first prompt. Now, here what I have done is given enough information about what I want from this website in the first place. And so let's go ahead and click on enter and see how the output looks like. So Vercel also does a pretty similar job to Lovable in that it starts thinking and it starts laying out its approach on how it would proceed further. Alright, so we got the output from V0 as well. They have the chat on this left hand side here, and then you can see the output on the right hand side. Again, similar to the Lovable UI, you can also switch between code and the UI design. So this is the order management dashboard, and as you can see, it has adhered to the features that I had listed down, the requirements that I mentioned in the prompt. On top of that, it has also added something that I did not ask for. For example, the metrics here at the top, I had not asked for this metric specifically. So these AI tools have become so good that they are able to understand the requirements very well and create the appropriate UI design for it. Now, as you can see here, we've got list of all orders, and here I can take some actions, I can see the statuses, and I can see all the other details as well. And once again, similar to Lovable, you can also publish this app. If you click on share button here at the top, you can see they have an option to publish. You can also share the URL as it is with others. This space is constantly evolving, and I talk about these products on my LinkedIn and Twitter, so you can follow me there as well if you want to continue with these conversations. If you have used any of these apps, let me know what you think about them, and if you have vibe coded any products, you can also drop them in the comments and we can check them out. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.